Okay, we are on for tonight. I'm so excited, y'all. This is a really, I feel like a really important call for what we do. I think so often we say, we really want to work the business. We really need extra $100, $500, $1,000 a month, but like no idea how to work it into the nooks and crannies of our lives. And I think the people that struggle with that the most are people like teachers, where you get up, you hit the ground running, you're getting up early to get your own life going, and then you are go, 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 go for all the students all day, and you get home and there's papers to grade and there's family that needs your attention and there's all of the things. And so I feel like teachers have the greatest desire and seem to do really, really well in this business if they can figure out how to do it well and how to do it for them. So the really cool thing is we have a lot of teachers on our team because of this. And so I thought it'd be good to hear just a couple of tips of each from each one of them, and maybe what has worked really well, maybe some like misses of, I thought this would be easier to do this and it didn't work out so well. So just learn from my mistakes, and here's a pivot for that. I am not a teacher, but I think so many of us did homeschooling and virtual learning and kind of adopted that for at least a few minutes this year. And we're like, oh, we have no idea how you did it, either as a homeschool mom full-time or as a teacher full-time or an administrator. And so we truly want to just go, please tell us how you did it, because we all know at any moment we could go back to virtual, and we're all sitting in your exact same shoes. So I want to start with Stacy Frank. Stacy is a sweet, dear friend. She is rocking and rolling on her business. And although I know the start of the school year has been more difficult this year, and they've had to make some hard choices with just the fact that there is virtual learning and in-person stuff going on. And so I think Stacy has adopted some things that have done really well for her and her specific schedule. And I want her to get to share any tips that she has. So Stacy, I am going to let you unmute yourself and share with us where you live, what you do in education, and a few tips that you might have.
All right. I'm Stacy Frank. I live in Boise, Idaho, and I teach special ed, kindergarten through 6th grade, and we are currently 100% online still here in Boise. I guess kindergarten through 2nd grade gets to come 2 days a week, but pretty much special ed is still 100% online due to mandates for IEP minutes. So one thing that I have finally took ownership of is looking at my back office, and that would be my #1 priority every month. So the beginning of the month, I look at everybody that is on my back office, and I put them in my log, and I can kind of show you. Let's see if I can turn my camera around. I keep a log of everybody that at the beginning of the month who is in my back office. And then sorry, my phone's telling me it's going dead. I'll flip this back around. I should be more savvy if I'm online all day long. I color code mine, and so when they are green, or when you saw the ones that are green, those are the people that have had their order go through. And then I underline people that are at a 0 PV in purple, and so I know that those are the people I definitely have to reach out to during the month. On the side of their names, I've put a check mark, so everybody that orders from me or in my downline, I try to send them a message once a month, the week before their order goes through, just checking in, just a check-in. I feel like that's how I've got most of my people to continue to order from me, is because I've done that once a month or every 2-week check-in with them. And so I feel like that's been consistent for me. Because I've done that follow-up today, I got 2 more people that hadn't ordered from me in the last couple months, that just because I took the time to say like, hey, it's my end of the month check-in, that's how I got 2 orders to go through today. So I feel like that's a tip that I use. I only work 30 minutes at lunch. My lunch break is only 30 minutes. So during that 30 minutes, I try to send out as many messages or follow-ups as I can during that 30 minutes. And I drink a shake for lunch, so that makes it easy. So I can drink my shake and message people at the same time. And I do all of my messaging from my phone because our school district is really watches what we are logged on during the day, and our filter is pretty high at school. So I'm cautious of not logging on to my personal computer within the building. I use my cell phone for that.
I love it. And I
Anything
think
else?
I just remember you saying that if you were going to commit the time, you're going to commit it every day during lunch, and that it really kept you almost like, I've got to get so much done during this 30 minutes that there wasn't a lot of room to kind of hem and haw or even kind of scroll, because you're like, I've got so much I have to get done in 30 minutes. And I will say, I've seen teachers say if they will stay consistent with the kind of time blocking or to-do list that they have for themselves, that almost they get more done when they're teaching, but because they're giving themselves specific times to work Plexus, then when they finally retire from their teaching job, if that's their desire, then they're like, I have all this time, I'll do it later. And it's like, actually they get more accomplished when they keep that, when they are on that schedule. So I've loved watching how much that 30 minutes every single day at lunch has really driven your business, because you're so intentional about it every day. And I know that the start of the year has been kind of crazy, but I can see you getting back into it, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I think my personal life got in the way. I let my daughter's living in Montana, stayed away, where she's attending school there in person, which she's loving. So maybe we'll be packing up and moving to Montana by the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe that's our new destination. But she's loving it there. So now I just need to be more more focused at work, and lunchtime's the perfect time to do it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Stacey, for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Next, I want to move into maybe even a different way of doing business. Amber Volbada is a sweet friend. She is a top level in our company, a diamond. But so much of her business was built when her kids were at home. And I say that, I think she pretty much just always has kids at home. I don't really think there's been a season that I've known her we've had kids the same age for the last 10 or 12 years now. And I think she always has a little one at home. So homeschooling is always kind of a thing for her, working it in the nooks and crannies of just different seasons of school. I would say really over the last, 6 or 7 years with this business, I would say y'all kind of changed your seasons of what you're doing with school. And so I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit and what you feel like has really worked or maybe not worked really well in those different seasons, as either they're homeschooling or putting their kids in school or whatever that looks like. So Amber, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to be here. Yes, we have 5 kids. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, and have been with Plexus 6 years. When Andrea said, can you share kind of your perspective on homeschooling? And I was like, well, yeah, except I'm not doing it right now. Our kids, our oldest 3 are in school right now. And so, but to her point, and it's very true, I grew my business very heavily when I was homeschooling and when I had 4 kids at home at the time. So I was like, yeah, that's actually a good point. I'm not doing it right now, but I did do it day in and day out for years. So I kind of divided it up into 3 parts. I think, we talk about working it in the nooks and crannies, and that is true. And you have to do that. But my take is that is actually not enough if you have really specific goals that you're trying to reach for. So I kind of said it's 3 parts. It's the nooks and crannies, some dedicated time to just focus on your business, and then your commitment and belief. Those are the 3 ways that I divided it up when I was thinking through it today. So nooks and crannies, Stacey made a great points. I love that she showed her notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. I've used a little I get a new one every couple of months from Target. It's like spiral bound. I mean, that's how fancy. So it doesn't have to be fancy, but you need a system so that you can be prepared ahead of time. Those lists should be your customers, your ambassadors. Color code them, put them in your phone if that's easier for you. Just like have that ready. There should be prep work that you do that is always at your fingertips. So when you have the nooks and crannies, you're not dilly-dallying and like, oh, what do I do? And what's her number? And how do I track her down? And like, you should know exactly who is on your list, where they fall on your list, your customers, your team members. And I say your top 10 kind of potentials, like your hot 10. Those are the ones that should always be at your fingertips. And you have to be creative. If you're homeschooling, or so many of us, right? Oh my goodness, so many of us this year, craziest year ever, are schooling from home. You're in some setup that you haven't been in before, or that you haven't maybe even picked, right? Like I didn't sign up for this, but now I'm having to do it. Get creative. So car time for me is always like a podcast. Now corporate has so many trainings, tuning into a training or using Marco Polo or voice messaging to talk to your customers and your team members. Like use the time in your car, put something on. I have some, cool stuff that I love to put on for my kids. And then that is my time. It's like 15 minutes. If you're in the car, 20 minutes, a couple times a day, that adds up. So use that time really specifically. And if you're at home and you have that like quiet hour nap time, this is like a 30-minute. These are nooks and crannies. So, everyone, I don't care how old you are. You can read or you can rest or you can be quiet. I don't care, but 30 minutes. That was a big thing when everyone was home. It's like, this is just mom needs a minute. And that 30 minutes I could really power out. Look, I'm sure it's on the table, but there's a format for 30 minutes that's based on 3, 6, 9, 12. What you do with 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, and 12 minutes. And it's how it's broken down. It is a great plan if you don't have one, or look at it and make it work for you. But you need a 30-minute plan. That's my nooks and crannies. You have to have a 30-minute plan, because if you're homeschooling or schooling from home or whatever, you're gonna get little snippets of time, and you've got to have a plan so you can be effective during that time. But here is my true opinion. That is not enough. That is not enough. Now, if you just like are looking for like 100 or 200 PV each month, and you just kind of want to offset your products, like that might be enough. But if you're like Amber, like I want to get to gold and senior gold, and I want to make like $500 and $1,000 a month, and I've got my eyes on getting to jewel, like just the nooks and crannies is not going to be enough. So guys, I sacrificed time. I did for a while. And I was okay with that, and my family was okay with that. And there was a commitment that we made as a group to do that. But for me, it was late at night. That my wiring, it worked better for me to do late at night. So I did all the things that I needed to do. And when the babies went down, that is when I like committed. And that is hard. That's intentional time. Like put on your executive mindset. I'm not playing around. Like I am here to run a business, work a business, build a business, boom, like you're on it. Income producing activities, that's all your IPA. It's hard to really power that out in 30 minutes and make a lot of headway. Like the 30 minutes is good, but if you're like powering, you're working for Leaders Retreat, you've got some goal in mind that you're chasing, something by the end of the year, you need that extended period of focus time. So find it early in the morning, late at night, whatever works for you. And then commitment, like you have to commit to the process. I love how Stacey was saying, yeah, just like every day, I'm going to do it every day. If you have family, talk to them. Like we're coming up on the last 90 days of the year, right? Talk to your family. Like I want to hit this by the end of the year. And in order to do that, like I can say to my husband sometimes, like, I need you to handle all bedtime, all bath, all of that. That takes like an hour at our house. We have like 100 kids. And so it's like, I need you to handle all of that. And then I can devote myself to my work while you're doing that. And then I can come in the end. Like I can still tuck kids in bed, but if he can like focus on help getting the kitchen cleaned up and the baths and all of that tidying, that's like an hour of good time. Get the commitment, get the buy-in, have the long-term goals. And the last thing I would say is that if your why is clear, these will be easy. Nooks and crannies will be easy. Waking up early will be easy. Staying up late, like that, it will not feel laborsome if your why is clear. And if you haven't ever watched it, y'all write this down. On YouTube, there's a diamond. Her name is Amy Kosmalski. I always say it wrong. It's Kosmalski. And she has a 4-minute video. Just Google this. Your want is not your why. Your want is not your why. Go watch the video, work that out, and then your nooks and crannies, your dedicated time, all of it will be so much easier to knock out because you will be very, very clear on why you're doing it. That's all I got.
I love that. And we will find that 36912 chart, and we'll make sure that it gets kind of like brought to the top. And then that video from Amy, we'll try to put in the comments of the call for this night so that people that go back and look at it, they can find that call as well. So I love Amy Kay, and she has a really good story and a really good word for a lot of people. So I appreciate that so much, Amber. And I have loved, y'all, Amber has had, I don't know if you still have it, a cloffice. So she actually had her office in her closet. And whenever we would meet up with Amber, she was in a very tiny space, but it was hers. And so, you know, she wasn't sitting in a giant office that was dedicated to just her with all of her, you know, stuff. She had to make it work. And I think sometimes watching people make a dedicated, not space, but just dedicated time and just really like plugging in and saying, I'm going to do this my way, the way it fits in our family, but I'm doing it well, is just so huge. So I love that, Amber. And I love just hearing her say, it's just not enough to do the nooks and crannies. If you want true legacy residual income that will last you through the, you know, ups and downs of life, but the income will continue to come in, then there does have to be a dedication and a sacrifice. It can't all be just nooks and crannies. So thank you for sharing that. Next, I want to share someone who has decided to go all in, no speed bumps allowed. Almond has not only doing some major things in her own education, but she's also an educator and just hit Fast Start Senior Gold this week. So nothing is slowing this girl down. And obviously she is finding time to work it in while doing so many other things. So Almond, tell us a little bit about what you're doing for your own education, or what you've done with schooling recently, what you do for education, because I think it's more of an administrative, like a more like bigger administrative role. And then where you feel like you can work, you are working this business hard, and where you are making some sacrifices to make it happen. We are excited to hear from you. So tell us your story.
Hi, everyone. So I actually had the intention of pursuing my principal certification recently. My original goal was to go into professorship until I saw how much they make, and it's not that much. And it's much more work for a lot less pay. And so I ended up pursuing my Doctor of Education recently. I graduated in May, and I really got bored and wanted to go back to school and get the doctor title, to be honest. That's really what happened. I just wanted to be called doctor. And so I went back to school, graduated in May, put on a bunch of weight, and decided that I wanted to give the products another try. I'm a returning ambassador. And once I posted my before and after picture, my business literally just blew up. And I fell back into this business completely by accident. Right now, I'm an 8th grade math teacher. I've been in the same district in Texas for 9 years. This is my 9th year. And I absolutely love what I do. I love my job. This is just of course, difficult time right now. We are 50-50. So the kids who choose to be face-to-face come in if they want to. And so we are about half full right now. And those who still want to stay virtual can stay virtual. But it is definitely a lot more work, a lot more planning, a lot more documentation. And it can be overwhelming at times, but I've decided not to make any excuses because I see how much success can be made in this business. And I'm so used to sacrificing time. I did it for my doctorate program. I did it while writing my dissertation. So I did it while writing my dissertation. And once I really saw the potential, I wanted to go for it. And so really, one of the four of the things that have helped me really grow my business is making sure that I'm always sparking up conversations at work. A lot of my team right now is educators. We are back in front of students. So I'm trying to put forth the message that we really can't afford to have weak immune systems right now. Flu season is about to start. Matter of fact, I believe flu season has started in the middle of a pandemic, and we were just off for 5 months, very extended spring break. So we are not used to being around students that much. I don't have any kids. I have a dog and I have a mom that lives with me, but I don't have any, if y'all want to consider that my kids, but I don't have kids. And so I'm not used to being around, I wasn't used to being around kids for 5 months. So, and then of course I had put on a lot of weight. So really, I know that there are other teachers and other people in my profession who are looking to accomplish the same goals. And that was really my selling point, is we need to make sure we have strong immune systems right now. And that quarantine 15 was real. And I know y'all want to get rid of that as well. Secondly, time management is key. I know that's been stressed a lot right now. Time management is really key. I try to dedicate at least a good hour a day. I end up doing more, but at least if I know I'm going to have a super busy day of planning, document for work, then I at least try to set aside 1 hour, whether it is on my lunch break, whether it is right when I come home. I work out in the morning, so that's easier for me to just come home, focus an hour on Plexus before I get to doing my other work. And so it's just important to exercise good time management and try to keep as much of work at work. And I know that's hard because right now we have much more planning, but it is important to exercise time management very well. And this is a huge one with us educators. Gradual release of responsibility model, the I do, we do, you do. I know you like that, Maria Jackson, if you're listening. So that is a huge model that I use with my own team. I am gradually releasing the responsibility of leadership roles to them, because it does not take, it can be me alone doing all the enrollments, but it would be much more difficult to do all the enrolling and letting them, and not really showing them how to grow their own teams. And so with them growing their own teams is growing my team as well. So I'm slowly and gradually coaching them and slowly putting the accountability and the responsibility of growing their team on them. So, and then the last thing, I definitely make sure to keep communication open. I have several different chats. I have one just strictly for my all of my team that are using the products, so that we keep that to motivation tips, workout tips, meal plans, updates on the products. And then I have my other chat group that is strictly for business building. So it's helped keep communication open. It's helped for us to be able to collaborate, and so that nobody is feeling alone in the process. And it's been really good with building team camaraderie and rapport. So that's really been my biggest game changers right now.
Well, I would say you're game changing for sure. And I would also say go after someone that is a go getter. I mean, obviously, Almond likes a little bit of a challenge. She likes to, she actually likes to be challenged. And I think it's fun to watch someone go, so, I mean, I got my doctorate, did my dissertation, kind of seeing what else was left. So I decided to do Plexus and Fast Start every single layer, along the way. And I think to me, I'm going, she's like, okay, give me another challenge. Give me something else to do. And so sometimes we think those people are too busy, and they probably think they're too busy. But if they're a go-getter, if they love having a challenge, and they kind of like to see themselves succeed and do things maybe nobody else has done, then I would say go find yourself an Almond, because it's a lot of fun. And her team is a blast. So it's fun to watch energy, and energy breeds more energy. And when you see someone doing all the right things and it's working, then you tend to go, all the right things work. And so that's so much fun. Almond, thank you so much for sharing. We have 2 people left, and I'm going to have them both share their stories. But first, we're going to have Lisa Sturgis share. Lisa is a 3rd grade teacher. She got in just with a 3-day challenge pack, which is fun because the 2 of us are actually passing them out this week, and we realized 3-day challenge packs work. And so that's how she got in. And the end of December, decided to go ahead and sign up as an ambassador, and has gone senior gold in the last 6 months, and had so much fun doing it. Has also lost 57 pounds. She'll probably tell me if I'm wrong or not. And just walked a half marathon 20K a few weeks ago, and is maybe going to do one this week in South Dakota. So it's fun to watch people succeed in this alongside their teaching roles. And we talk a lot about what it looks like to be a teacher for her. So I'm excited for Lisa to share with you how she's doing this business well, signing up. I think she signed up like 3 or 4 people in the last couple of days, how she's doing that while still working full-time as a 3rd grade teacher. So Lisa, share a couple of tips with us.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm just going to be really honest following all of that. I am a work in progress. I got started doing all this, like she said, I didn't start really sharing until February. And then March happened and COVID. So I was home, and being able to share from home was a whole lot easier to be able to do both jobs at the same time. Going back, I am an in-person 3rd grade teacher. Our school district is actually, they offered the parents virtual or in person. So I am in person with my class of 14 for the next few weeks anyway, till that grows. And here's what I've discovered. Honestly, I would say August, I was just paddling to keep my head above water. September, I've kind of figured out a few things. The first and the best tip I think I can give is you're not doing this alone. I reach out to, Andrea is my direct upline, so I reach out to her all the time. Marco Polo, I just keep it, it's just the very first app right there. I'm constantly on that. And then this summer, I was really fortunate to make friends through events like this. Kelly, who's on here, I reach out to Kelly all the time because she's done this before. So I like to learn from other people's experiences, and I know I'm not doing this alone. And so I ask a ton of questions, and I reach out to people. Kelly and I actually did a 30-minute Facebook event thing. I don't even know when that was, because I think it was in August when I was below water. The next thing that I do is I pre-type up a ton of responses to common questions in my notes on my phone, because even though I don't use them, I'll copy them, I'll paste them, and then I'll tweak them when I see a question come up. That way I'm not starting from scratch every single time. I have a tendency to overthink my responses. So if I can overthink ahead of time, then I could just tweak a little bit before I hit send. It's the teacher, I always edit everything. Is this comma right? Those kind of things. Anyway, so notes on my phone is a big deal. planning ahead. I wish everything on Facebook I could schedule ahead of time. We're doing a 3-day challenge coming up, and I love the fact that I can go in, I can schedule everything for the day and the time that I wanted to post. I wish everything was like that, but it's not. So I try to plan ahead as much as I can. I have a calendar. I actually have every one of my ambassadors written down on a day of the month, so that's when I'm trying to remember to reach out to them that day, just to follow up with them. And I have a list, it's right here, of who I'm talking to this week. And I had to go in there over the weekend, and I realized that I was talking to somebody and I couldn't remember which social media platform it was on. So I added that to my list as well, where I'm talking to them. Is it a text message? Is it on Facebook Messenger? Is it on Instagram? Or is it on Marco Polo? Where am I talking to them? Because I kind of lost somebody this week. So I had to go find them. And I think the list is really important because I forget who I'm talking to. I had somebody on Saturday morning, I was watching Game Day on ESPN, and I realized, oh my goodness, I was supposed to be looking into tree nut allergies. And so I pushed everything aside because I didn't have her on my list. So making that list of who I'm talking to has been really important. I think that's pretty much it. Just know that you're not doing it alone. Reach out to people, use other people's experiences. That's all I got.
I think that's perfect. And I think if y'all don't realize, like, I'm writing notes this whole time. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to be doing that too. So it's really isn't just for teachers, but it definitely helps y'all figure out some things that are easy for what y'all do. But I have been taking great notes. I think y'all have some great tips for everybody. And some, lessons learned along the way. Okay, very last, but on purpose, is Megan Lafayette. So Megan is growing a massive business, big goals this month. And so I'm gonna let Megan share that. I'm not gonna share her story. I'm gonna let her share a little bit about that, the goals that she has set and how she's working towards those goals while still working and what she does in education. So Megan, share with us your goals and what you did with education and how you're doing them together.
You make me sound like so much more exciting than I really am. So I'm Megan Lafayette. I'm up in South Dakota. I live in Spearfish, South Dakota, and I am a Title I teacher. I teach 3rd through 5th grade interventions. So I do 3rd grade math interventions, 4th and 5th grade reading, helping those kiddos who might have tested for special education but didn't quite qualify. They come back to me. I love my job more than anything. It was a job I never knew I wanted, and I didn't actually apply for it, but I got it. So I am going for Emerald this month. Huge thing. Never ever had it on my radar when I started this business, ever. I just wanted to earn some money to get my products paid for, and that was basically it. And then I actually found my first business builder at school. I was walking around with my pink drink, and she's like, oh my gosh, what is that? I'm like, oh gosh, I started this during my student teaching. It's helped me get rid of my headaches. It's helped me with my pain, blah, blah, blah. She's like, what? I'm like, and it gives me the best energy ever. And she's like, oh my gosh, sign me up. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what am I? And then she just like took off and started sharing it. So carrying that pink drink around with you at work, and you're active at work, has been a huge, it's a conversation starter, because they're like, oh, what are you drinking? Because most of the time they're thinking you're drinking like Crystal Light or something. You're like, nope, natural products, yay. So much better, it gives you some sweet energy. I call it my teacher go-go juice. So it's kind of what it's known for with me. And so some of the tips that I have, I always stress with every single person on my team that when they are sharing anything, if it's at school, on social media, anywhere, that they need to share it authentically. It needs to come from your heart, and no fluff. I did not share with people the income. Well, I did share with them the income, but I did not talk about how it surpassed my teaching income until it actually did, because I'm like, I have a hard time with some fluff, and and what I see. So sharing authentically and being truthful. And when you're a teacher, most teachers, if you're not a teacher on this call and you have teacher friends, just know that most of them have to find another source of income. Most teachers I know, they either go get a job waiting tables, they get summer jobs here during the Sturgis Rally because they can make a load of money during the Sturgis Rally, which I used to do as well. Most teachers have to supplement their income in some way. So why not give them the blessing of Plexus and say, hey, you know what, I work this, an hour and a half a day, and I can fit it into the nooks and crannies in my life. I get to school early every day, partially because I have to drop my kid off at another school, and then my daughter comes to school with me. And I'm like, I'm technically not on the clock here until 7:56. So if I get there at 7:30, I have a few minutes to quickly get some reports out of my back office. I am a Post-it queen, you guys. I have so many Post-its because each person gets a Post-it every day. I write some notes down and I have them with me, and they're there, so I have them. And anytime I have time throughout the day, my lunch break, anything, I am like looking, I'm like, all right, I got my phone out, I'm sending messages. Voice messages are huge. When you are on a time crunch, send those voice messages through Facebook if you need to. Phone calls, they're huge. And then also making sure that when you get home that your family knows, hey, I'm doing a call tonight, or hey, I just got asked to be on a call tonight. Need you to do this. So making sure that, I think Amber talked about it, making sure your family is invested and that they know what's going on as well. Because it's not just benefiting you, it is helping your entire family. This extra income for my family it's been amazing. I can't even put into words. I mean, I could go on forever about where we were financially before Plexus and where we're at now. And it's allowed us to dream. And I know there are so many teachers out there, you guys, who want more than anything to be able to do a fun summer vacation with their kiddos. Okay. And I mean, I've talked to a couple ambassadors about this, and they're like, man, you get to go to Disney World again? Yes, because thankfully Plexus allows us to be able to do this kind of things. And if you wanted to work your business a few hours a week, a couple hours, a few hours a week, you can do this, and you can make that money to dream and to do those fun things as well. Yeah, it's, some of it, it's going to cover some of those bills, but if you want to splurge and do that fun vacation over the summer without having to get that summer job and trying to get time off, this 100% could be what you need. So just sharing that authentically. And I mean, clearly, you guys, I almost start crying when I talk about this, because it just, I know how it's affected people, and I know that it can give so much hope to so many other people. So I'm huge on sharing authentically. And I also, one huge tip that I always tell people if they're working their business and you're going for some big goals, because I do have a couple people who are very close to earning Leisure's Retreat and some huge goals of their own. Don't plan things on the last 2 nights of the month. The last night of the month, even, tomorrow night, if you have those goals and you want it bad enough, you are going to be at your computer all night long, working and watching other people crush their goals, because it is so exciting. I mean, you should be working like this the whole month, but when it comes down to it and you're like, man, I need those 40 orders to hit Emerald, or I need you guys, it is amazing to see people come together. And when you have that like business builder chat thread on Facebook, because I have one of those, it is gold. You guys, having that business builder thread is so amazing, because I love to throw out little challenges every now and then, like, hey, you know what? You haven't done a live on your page lately? Go live on your page and somebody can win a $20 Amazon gift card. So they're like, oh, what? Yeah. So they go live on their page and they share something, and people are like, oh, wow, I didn't know you were still doing this. This is awesome. So I did that challenge a couple days ago, and now I have people adding more people from the end of the month. So challenging your ambassadors. I have notes. that I wrote for this on my giant Post-it note. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, making sure that your team knows where to find things in their back office. I think it was Allman was, talking about gradual release. And that is, I'm like, here are the tools, here's where you find them. And I will go over it a couple times, like this is where you can find things, this is where it's at. A lot of the questions can be answered in back office. The FAQs for Leaders Retreat, FAQs for anything, like it's all there. I teach my students in class, like you can find the answers to things, you just have to do it. You have to want to do it, okay? I will help you for a while. I'll hold your hand for a little while, but guess what? You gotta go. not that you gotta go, but you do have to try to figure these things out on your own too. And you can do it. It's scary, and I know I was the same way. I was asking my upline a gajillion questions, and I still do, 4 years in. But giving them the tools that they need and telling them that they can do it, giving that positive mindset that they can do those things. Even starting out, it might be hard, but you can still do it. So, yeah, I think that's all I have. I mean, the other lady shared a ton. So, yeah, I think that's all I've got.
I think it's amazing, and I think it's so teacher-like that y'all all talked about resourcefulness. Like, I'm gonna show you how to do it, but then I'm gonna need you to go do it on your own. And it doesn't mean I'm like abandoning you. I'm not, like with your students, you don't just like stop, helping them, but you're like, I'm now allowing you to figure out the problem, showing you how to figure it out and letting you make some mistakes, but then also teaching you how to correct yourself and how to, like in math, like how to, double back and look for your own answers. And I just think, of course, teachers teach resourcefulness. Y'all, tonight was so good. I mean, I literally took front and back notes completely of so much of the wisdom. And here's the thing, it's all simple. It's not easy. You have a lot of it takes effort. A lot of it does take, the word we kept hearing was sacrifice. It does take conversations with, we could say shareholders sometimes, your family, and the people that are affected sometimes by the sacrifice. You have to have those conversations with them. But y'all are willing to do the hard things. You're willing to take the last 2 days of the month and say, hey, I'm holed up in my office, my closet, this guest bedroom, the corner of the dining room, and no one's allowed to, kind of break this because there are other people who I'm helping reach their goals. Because if we help other people reach their goals, then our goals just start to come at such a faster clip, and that's so much fun. So thank y'all so much for all this information. I think this video will be used over and over to help so many other people really break through maybe what is stopping them from making some progress in their businesses. I wish y'all all the best. I cannot wait to see some announcements happen this month from these teams. And we cannot wait to see what new teachers come in and really show us how to do this well. So thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Bye, y'all.